The opinions expressed by the host and guest on this program are solely their own and do not represent the views or opinions of Blind United. We strive to provide diverse perspectives and discussions on our platform, but the opinions expressed should be understood as personal viewpoints and not reflective of Blind United as an organization.
It's time. It's time for
coffee time.
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 And here is your coffee time crew.
Well, good Wednesday morning, everyone, and as always, welcome back to Coffee Time with Blind United. I got Carol and Pedro with me today, so good morning, y'all.
Good morning. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning. How's everybody doing? I hope everybody's doing good. It was extremely hot yesterday.
Oh, yeah, well, it's going to be hot, another hot one out here. So anyway, let me get to these, and we'll get into the heat again in just a minute, but let me run down what we got. A busy day in front of y'all today. So, of course, we got coffee time right now, right? But also later on today, we literally have 3 interest groups for you today. We have the Blind Kitchen at 2 p.m. Pacific time. And then later on, we got AI for Beginners at 5. And my brother Pedro with his advanced technology at 6. So, again, whatever it is you know on your plate today, we got 3 groups for you. So come on out, check us out. Again, that'll be at 2, 5, and 6 p.m., and that's all Pacific time. So, again, come on out and check us out and, pick up a few tips and tricks on whether it's cooking or learning a little something new about AI or, learn something new about, Apple and iOS, the advanced technology stuff. So, but anyway, speaking of heat, we, everybody's dealing with a kind of little heat wave right now. What they're calling it, like a heat dome. It's being created. Well, you'll hear more about it here in the article, but a little something about the humidity and what's coming towards everybody. So check this out.
Hey, Blind United crew, grab your first cup as Coffee Time dives into this essential topic. Navigating the humidity surge, what you need to know for Wednesday, June 18th. Get ready, because as we get into Wednesday, June 18th, several parts of the country are on alert for a significant and potentially oppressive surge in humidity. This isn't just about feeling a bit sticky, it's about understanding how these extreme moisture levels can impact our comfort and, more importantly, our health. The Midwest and Lower Great Lakes region is one area where the humidity is forecast to become particularly noticeable. We're talking about dew points climbing into the 60s and even hitting the 70s, which translates to air that feels heavy and thick. When you combine this with air temperatures that could reach the high 80s or even low 90s, the feels like temperature, or heat index, could soar well into the 90s, possibly even nearing 100 degrees. This heat index is a critical measure because it's what truly reflects the stress on our bodies. High humidity makes it harder for our sweat to evaporate, which is our body's primary cooling mechanism. So, even if the air temperature seems manageable, the humidity can make it feel much more intense and potentially dangerous. It's not just the Midwest feeling the squeeze. Parts of the mid-Atlantic states, including major metropolitan areas like Philadelphia and New York, are also expected to experience considerable humidity, contributing to those high heat index values. And down in the South and Southwest, where humidity is often a given, forecasts suggest continued elevated moisture levels. For example, some projections for the Southwest even indicate an unseasonably early monsoon, like influx of moisture from the Gulf of California, bringing higher dew points and the possibility of increased rainfall. Why are these humidity surges happening? Often, it's due to large-scale weather patterns. Low-pressure systems can act like sponges, drawing vast amounts of moisture from warm bodies of water, such as the Gulf of Mexico. When a high-pressure ridge then sets up overhead, it can effectively trap this warm, moist air close to the ground, leading to what meteorologists sometimes refer to as a heat dome. These conditions don't just bring discomfort. They can also set the stage for pop-up thunderstorms, which, while providing temporary relief from the heat, can also bring their own risks like heavy downpours and strong winds. The real concern with extreme humidity, especially when paired with high temperatures, is the increased risk of heat-related illnesses. These can range from heat cramps and heat exhaustion to the far more serious heat stroke. It's vital to be proactive. Make sure you're consistently hydrating with plenty of water and electrolyte-rich drinks, even if you don't feel thirsty. Whenever possible, seek refuge in air-conditioned spaces, take cool baths or showers, and opt for light-colored, loose-fitting clothing that allows your skin to breathe. If you absolutely need to be outdoors, try to schedule your activities for the cooler parts of the day, typically early morning or late evening, and take frequent breaks in the shade. It's also wise to check on elderly neighbors or anyone who might be more vulnerable to heat. The patterns we're seeing with these humidity surges underscore how deeply interconnected our environment is with our daily lives, and how crucial it is to stay informed and adapt. How do you plan to handle the upcoming humidity? We'd love to hear your strategies. Now back to the Coffee Time crew for their thoughts.
Well, I guess first thing I need to hope for is we don't get flagged for calling it the Gulf of Mexico. But anyway, I mean, humidity does make it really, really a lot worse. I mean, again, you look at your thing and it says, whatever your weather app that you use or whatever smart device, it may say, oh, well, it's, 80, but it feels like 85. Well, that's the humidity. That's what's making it feel like 85. And I mean, I didn't realize this, but when I was doing all of this, I found out that one of the reasons that makes humidity more dangerous is the fact that our body stays moist. I mean, it's constantly sweating and whatnot. And because of the moisture in the air, our the moisture on our skin doesn't have the opportunity to evaporate. So it has something to do with it. But bottom line, our risk of heat stroke and all that stuff is a lot more, possible when the humidity levels are really, really high. So, I mean, I know you're dealing with a lot of stuff going down there, Carol. We don't get a whole lot of humidity out here because we're in the dry desert, but you guys down there is, I know my daughter, all up in through Florida, all in through them, southeastern states as well. They get a lot of humidity. So
Oh
just
yeah.
beware. Just beware, and hopefully you got a plan, as it says.
I try my best to, stay as cool as possible because the humidity, even the heat index, the temperature may say 95, but the heat index is what is so tragic. And when they say the temperature, that's actually the temperature in the shade. When you jump in the sun, it's even hotter. So if the heat index is 100 degrees, that's 100 degrees in the shade. So, wearing light colored clothing, even sometimes a lot of people will wear, cotton. Cotton kind of will help breathe, help you once your sweat evaporates, it'll give you a little coolness on you. And, a lot of individuals that even though you're hydrating yourself, you're drinking Gatorade or Powerade or water, if you're on medications that have a water pill in it, you're still dehydrating yourself. Say if you're on high blood pressure medicine with a water pill, or individual with glaucoma and they're taking Diamox, which is a water pill. Or are you drinking coffee? All of these things will dehydrate you. So you have to excessively drink more and more water to try to keep yourself cool. So just trying to keep yourself in a cool environment, taking breaks if you have to be outside, or checking on your neighbors that may not want to run their air just based on the fact that they don't want a high bill. It's just prevalent in this time of the year. So just staying safe and making smart decisions and trying to keep yourself cool can actually, prolong yourself from possibly having a heat stroke, because that is extremely dangerous.
You brought up another point that I want to point out in areas where you have high humidity.
Hmm.
When you use your AC because of the moisture in the air,
Hmm.
the AC condenser has a tendency to freeze over.
That is true.
So you got to be real careful about that because you could actually end up burning up your AC unit
That is true.
in that situation. So, all right, Pedro, what you got, my brother? You got a plan? Well, we don't
Mm,
have a humidity like everybody else, but
it's gonna be hot.
it's going to be hot. The
Yeah.
dry heat, I don't know. To me, sometimes it can be just as bad until you literally deal with the humidity,
Well,
like
the
down in
plus
Florida.
plus part for you all is you all have a beach, where here in Texas we don't. Galveston, maybe if you're in Galveston, Texas, but there's no beaches. You have to try to find a pool
Well,
or
again,
something.
but
So,
I mean, I know it sounds like that, Carol, but I'm literally over 70 miles from the beach.
oh, okay,
Okay, so
Mhm.
I mean, it's just
And
that
again,
don't help you none at all.
yeah, this is the season where the umbrellas start coming out. The ladies start having umbrellas and other things like that. Um,
parasols.
yeah, so that is
Yeah.
that is something to keep you cool. They got these little towels you put around your neck that you soak them in cold water or you put them in the freezer, and they
Hmm.
retain the cold. So you put them around your neck and they stay cool around your neck.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
They
true.
have those. So guys, if you want to stay cool, that is an option, especially for the fellas that don't want to carry an umbrella. You could do that. Or you could do what I did. One of my friends gave me a portable AC unit you put around your neck. He says it's AC, and I see that it does have the filters and it does shoot out cold air. It's not just
Mm.
a fan. And you put it around your neck like a little headset and it blows up. Now, pair that with I call it my elote man hat because it's huge. Pair that with that hat, the flow going up makes it, because of the hat being on top, it makes the air flow around my neck.
Right, 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 right.
Okay.
But maybe that's what I might take on June 1st just to stay warm. I mean, to stay warm, to stay cool.
I ain't
you
even
know,
at June 21st.
and June 21st, correct.
Right.
And so I might utilize that. They have material clothing that is permit. It's meant to cool you down when you're sweat. So they're thin materials and they dry up fast, but they cool as well because the air hits the wet part and to dries it off. So that is kind of good to tailor your clothes. And some of this clothing might be in the workout section is the thing too. You know,
True.
so, keep an eye out, but they do have, casual clothing that is made like that too, material that soaks up and dries pretty fast, and it's meant to ventilate air through your body too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
And we have
Okay.
little portable Mr. fans, that blow out
mm,
a little moist, it blows out water, but it's a fan also.
oh,
And they're portable,
yeah.
run by little, AAA batteries.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Yeah, one of our friends has a portable fan. She puts in wherever she goes. She puts it in the table, and it's USB-C. So any charger charges it. That is
Okay. Right
mm-hmm.
quick, Monica said good morning. Monica also says she's going to go buy a big feather fan so that when it gets hot, you can fan her. Uh, Tisha says good morning, and Harvey Signs, he says good morning as well, and he also put in there that he is from Canada. So welcome.
Oh,
All right. But
welcome, guys.
yeah, again, this stuff is crazy. I mean, there's all kind of little gadgets, devices, and all this kind of stuff that we can use now.
Mhm.
I mean, I do know that when I go visit my daughter down in Florida, I've noticed that Of course, I can't see, but she wears a lot of light clothing, light colors as well as light material. I mean, they're cotton, but they're really, really light. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, she lives there. She's got to deal with that humidity pretty much year round, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because they have that tropical weather, it's always got some sort of humidity.
Mm-hmm.
But during the summer months and whatnot, it really, really gets bad. It
Yeah.
really gets bad.
And another tip, and what I'm about to do is buy me a water bottle. And I'm looking at a Yeti brand water bottle that supposedly you can leave it in like 85 to 90-degree weather the whole day and still have ice by the end of the day in your water bottle.
Oh
But
wow.
what I'm gonna do is pair a body strap, try to find a body strap that goes around the water bottle and clips it and just have it around my body, you know what I mean? So like
Mm-hmm.
that when I wanna reach out, I can keep drinking water and not put it down and forget about it. That's one thing we do have an issue as we're busy doing events or we're out, it's easier to have it around your body and then you could just pull out, keep drinking water to stay hydrated. And if you wanna
Right.
go a little more high tech, you have water bottles that will warn you and let you know when to take the next drink. Just remember, you have to charge those too.
Well, I mean, again, they got all kind of gadgets out there for us nowadays. It's funny. I was watching a modern Marvels thing last night, and they were talking about '70s tech, and a lot of this technology that has really exploded right now actually started in the '70s. You know what I'm saying?
And they bringing it back.
Well, no, it just evolved from there. It was the
Ah,
basics of, like for instance, the text to speech. The first one was it was from Texas Instruments. It was like a learning device, speak and say, or
right,
something like that.
right.
Well, that same voice there is the voice that evolved into what's in most of your GPSs right now.
And that's a big corporation that's down here in Texas. TI.
Yeah.
If you got a job at TI, boy, you were doing it.
So again, I mean, and some of this stuff, like I say, they didn't know what they know now, of course, but a lot of this stuff evolved, and from that era. There was a big tech boom in the '70s,
Hmm.
and they didn't know exactly what all they could do with it at that point, right? It
Right.
was just, really, elementary stuff they were doing, but now they've advanced all of that stuff to where a lot of that stuff is in a lot of devices. I mean,
Well,
you got to remember, even back in the '70s, you really didn't have these microprocessors like we got now,
hmm
you
hmm
know.
hmm
So, all of that stuff has played into it. So,
exactly. Even in our
uh,
history, they found a 1 volt battery in ancient ancient times. And from that, somebody probably got an idea, made the modern battery and, more compact. So technology, even from back then, evolves, even, and the last 200 years, technology and even our our other sectors that is not technology with the industrial boom, like all that happened in 200 years. We went through a lot of new innovations, not just technology.
yeah, George, I was talking with him, and he was telling me about they actually have this kind of low cost conversion thing for those that don't necessarily have AC but have swamp coolers,
Mm.
that they can actually, especially if it's a swamp cooler that's, up on top of the house. So you got vents in your room like an AC,
Mm-hmm.
you can actually pull the vent cover off and place this unit in there. And then that unit connects to a compressor where when you need it, you can turn that on and it'll now convert that air into cooler air coming from the swamp cooler.
Oh
You
wow.
know,
Oh,
so
wow.
I mean, again, there's a lot of great tech out there to help us stay cool now. But most importantly, like you say, if you're older, dealing with different, medical conditions or whatever the case may be, man, don't play with the heat. Do
Mm-mm.
not play with heat. Heat ain't nothing to play with.
No,
You
it's
know,
not.
you know. So protect yourself. Stay, hydrated. and try to stay cool. If you're in one of them areas where you got a lot of humidity and a lot of heat, like it says, hey, take you a couple cold showers during the day, cool that body back off so it doesn't have a chance to overheat. So if you can do all that, so anyway, let's we're right on time right now, so let's go ahead and jump into a couple promos and we'll get into this next article.
You can go to customcane.com. That's custom with a K, guys. And what Custom Cane does is they sell cane and cane accessories. It's like Burger King. You can have it your way. You can get a pink cane, a blue cane, a rainbow cane, a Broncos cane, a Chargers cane, a cane with the Braille alphabet, a cane with your name on it. Whatever you want, whatever type of handle you want, whatever type of tip you want. If you want an aircraft aluminum cane, if you want an all-terrain cane, telescoping cane, any type of cane, Custom Cane has it.
Hustling jingles, $10 a shot. Birthday beats and holiday knocks. Gotcha covered for the ones you love. Personalized joy like a custom glove. Get your jingle hot and fresh. Info at blindunited.org. $10 only, no more, no less. We make memories you can't afford. Got a catchy tune for your babe. Poppin' beats like dreams we crave. For Mama's Day or Papa's cheer, let's make smiles from ear to ear. Get your jingle hot and fresh. Info at blindunited.org. $10 only, no more, no less. We make memories you can't afford.
Well, as always, don't forget your jingles for any occasion. Again, Pedro does a great job with these things. I mean, even that jingle right there is an example of, what he can make it do. So if you're looking for a jingle, get at us and Pedro will make it do what you want it to do. So if he can. Some people do have some way out requests, but he's going to do his best job with it, that's for sure. So anyway, getting into this second article, there's a question in a lot of people's minds right now. Are we at war or not? I don't know. Well, let's find out. So check this out.
Hey, Blind United crew, grab your next cup as Coffee Time delves into the complexities of international relations. The Middle East conflict, role, involved or not. The current escalation of conflict in the Middle East, particularly the ongoing exchange between Israel and Iran, has many wondering about the extent of America's involvement. It's a nuanced situation, and while the U.S. has a significant presence and a long history in the region, its current direct participation in offensive operations is distinct from its defensive and supportive roles. First, let's address the question directly. Is America involved in the current conflict? The official stance from U.S. officials, including those at the Pentagon, is that the United States is not directly participating in Israel's offensive strikes on Iran. However, this doesn't mean America is entirely absent from the picture. The U.S. maintains a substantial military footprint in the Middle East, with approximately 40,000 to 50,000 service members stationed across at least 19 sites, including key bases in Qatar, Bahrain, Kuwait, and the UAE. These forces are primarily there for regional security, deterrence, and to protect American interests and personnel. In the context of the recent Israel-Iran exchanges, the U.S. role has been characterized as defensive and supportive. For instance, U.S. forces have actively assisted Israel in intercepting incoming missiles and drones launched by Iran. This assistance highlights a robust defense cooperation that has been in place for years, including the deployment of U.S. ballistic missile interceptors on the ground in Israel and on warships in the Mediterranean. The Pentagon has also moved additional warplanes, including F-16s, F-22s, and F-35s, and an aircraft carrier. The USS Nimitz is currently en route, and the USS Carl Vinson was already in the region, to the Middle East. These deployments are described as defensive, aimed at reinforcing American military presence and ensuring the protection of U.S. troops from potential retaliation. Historically, the U.S. has been deeply involved in the Middle East, driven by various factors including energy security, counterterrorism, and supporting allies like Israel. This long-standing engagement has seen periods of direct military intervention, extensive diplomatic efforts, and significant financial and military aid to various regional partners. The current administration has emphasized a desire to avoid being drawn into another prolonged conflict, yet simultaneously pledges unwavering support for Israel's security. The situation is further complicated by political discussions within the U.S. Congress, where some lawmakers are actively seeking to limit the president's war powers, emphasizing that any direct military action against Iran requires congressional approval. There's also a clear division among politicians and the public regarding the extent of U.S. involvement, with many advocating for a focus on domestic issues. While the U.S. is not directly joining Israel's offensive campaign, its significant military presence, ongoing defense cooperation, and diplomatic FORTS make it an undeniably influential player in the unfolding events. The American position appears to be one of strong deterrence and defense of its allies and personnel, while trying to de-escalate broader regional conflict. The fine line between support and direct intervention remains a critical aspect of U.S. foreign policy in the volatile Middle East. This complex situation paints a picture of a future where our devices are more integrated, more connected, and potentially more accessible than ever before. What are your thoughts on this? We'd love to hear them. Now back to the Coffee Time crew for their thoughts.
Well, yeah, when he's in public, he makes the statement that he's not trying to be involved in this, but at the same time, if you look at his social media posts, he says we have dominated the skies over Iran. We know where the Ayatollah is. We this, we that. Well, if we are not involved, then why are you saying we? Okay. So, I mean, again, I think we're involved. And again, you know, to me, it doesn't make sense. I mean, don't get me wrong. Israel, I get it. But at the same time, you can't be over there and pick a fight with all of your neighbors. And to me, that's exactly what they're doing. You know, whether it's, they just want to fight with everybody in the region. You know what I'm saying? They think you know, I don't know. They seem like they think they're supposed to dominate the whole region, and and all of that's supposed to belong to them. But that's not the case. I mean, again, this is just crazy. I mean, there's no reason for us to get into this. If Iran is lying and they do actually have nuclear weapons, this could be a dangerous, a really, really tragic thing. I mean, the beginning of World War III. I mean, if they got them, their thing could be, you know what, we might as well use them. You know what I'm saying? So, again, this is a really, really dangerous thing. So, I think we're in it, regardless of what comes out of Washington. I really think we're in it. So, that's my opinion on it.
I agree with you. I mean, you hear it on the news daily. So to say that we're not in it makes no sense. And you have all of this military presence over there trying to come in the middle of something that just doesn't never seem to end. So I just don't get it. Why do you keep saying we if we're not involved? because it sounds like we are, and we have been for quite some time.
Hmm. Yeah, yeah. Uh, just to reiterate, this is our opinion. Um,
Yes.
just
Yeah.
to let
Yes,
folks
it
know
is.
because of what I'm about to say, it's not major crazy things, but Ed is Ed pointed out a good thing, his language that he has been using, and it's we, we. Okay. Number two, he says we're supporting our allies. Okay, yes, he's doing that. But what happened with Canada? What happened with the EU?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What happened with our other allies? Okay. Number three, he got upset at the French president or prime minister that said, yes, he left the G7 to work on peace in the Middle East. Correct?
Right.
Trump turned around and got upset because somebody tried to call him a peacemaker. He'd rather be known as a dictator. He said he's not going back to work on peace. So that lets everybody know, especially supporters that still think he is the president of peace. And they always online point out to this. He is a president of peace. He don't want war. But it's a lie, even in his first administration. Guess why we're back in this predicament with Iran? Because Donald Trump ripped up the Iran nuclear deal that was imposed by President Obama and was working. The nuclear what was it? The Nuclear World Commission, I guess is what it is, that that keeps tabs on this, gave them and said they've been giving us access to their facilities. They don't have the capabilities to make a nuclear weapon. But since the 80s in the United States, there's been plans to go through this list to go, I guess, through these countries. They've been in plans. So Iran is one of them within that list, one of the ones in the bottom. This is since the 80s, Afghanistan and all that too. But just to get back to the point is that we're the language he's using is he is going to make the decision to go to war, even though there's reports a bit about Netanyahu, Israel's prime minister, corruption charges. And I think he believes as long as we stay in this type of war posturing and have this conflict, what happened on last year's uh, act, well, last year's incident that happened between them, ongoing incident, because this has been happening since I think the 70s and all this. This is an ongoing issue. Um, Also with Trump, how the way he's speaking and and the statistics they gave Israel to kill their top uh Iranian Iranian leadership within the military, that's already a attack. That's an attack on a sovereign country. That's an escalation. They call it a preemptive strike to make colorful language and telling you, well, there was a preemptive strike because they were gonna attack us. There was no indications of any oncoming attack by Iran. They
Well, it's all
went.
propaganda.
It's all propaganda. They went in first and bombed Iran. That
Mm-hmm.
is the fact. Now, um, we've been involved in this conflict. We've been involved because we've been sending weapons. We haven't been involved physically and offensively, but we've been providing logistics, weaponry, uh, uh, weapons for this conflict. We have on air fueling airplanes there
Drones.
for.
They actually have
Yeah,
drones that
yeah,
do that.
drones for another army. And Israel prime minister has stated, and other leadership, they want boots on the ground, both boots. That means our U.S. citizens going to fight someone else's war only because we have someone with an orange face that wants to be a dictator and might be upset and might have hurt his ego, but he might want to prove something right now to the whole world because of his failure in his dictator parade.
So, so what draws the line for me as to whether we're involved or not? I mean, again, we're supplying, Israel with a lot of weaponry, right?
Mm-hmm.
So where I draw the line is whether we're involved or not. When the U.S. is launching the defensive weaponry, in other words, the weapons that knock missiles out of the sky, we're good. But when you start launching offensive weapons, we're involved.
Yes.
Yes. And and
It's
and, and
just that simple.
and it's going over the head of Congress that needs to enact the war. This is trying to him again overstepping his boundaries only because of and I hope they don't try to put this under the Patriot Act and terrorism, because this has nothing to do with 9/11. That's something we have to keep in mind, and we always have to put there. They cannot put this type of conflict within there and use it in those memes. And means meaning they going in without Congress, like in other
Well,
countries.
right. Well, but it's just like everything else that he's done since he, took the oath again, right?
Hmm.
Everything that has come about, and at least 90% of everything he's done that without the approval of Congress, and these things were in order to enact these things, he was actually required to get approval for Congress. Just like the extent that we get involved with this conflict over there, that has to go through Congress. But again,
Yes, it
he's
does.
just doing
Makes
everything he can to not
Mhm.
include Congress in this. Although, let's go here. He's got the Congress right now. He's got the majority in the Congress. He's got the majority in the
Mhm.
Senate.
Mhm.
So a lot of this stuff he can get away with. But because of the way he is doing things, he's got a lot of people in his own party that are going against him. Okay.
As they should. I mean, it's
Yeah.
destroying our foreign relations, period.
So exactly. I mean,
And
it
you got
doesn't,
all of our military over there for nothing.
Yeah,
you
and
know,
he's trying to destroy the balances of government within the branches in our system, in our the only type of experiment that ever has been done in the world. And this man wants us to go back into a fascist, into an hierarchy. He wants us to go back into a king and queen. He wants us to go
Hmm.
back to that. This
well,
is an
we ain't going
experiment.
there.
Yeah, he's going there. And this is a experiment never done in the world, and it's been working. And what has become of that experiment? People like to migrate over here because they have freedoms that nowhere in the world has.
Right.
Right. This experiment has been working for over 200 years. I mean, matter of
Hmm.
fact, uh, uh, next year it'll be 250 years
Wow.
that we've been doing what we do, right? And
Hmm.
again, it works. It's an experiment, but it's working. And I'm sorry, he may want to go back to the king and queen thing or whatever, but we as a people do not.
No.
And we're not going to
No.
allow it. We're just not going to allow it.
Mhm,
So
mhm.
anyway, it's crazy what these folks is doing. Donald Trump is just out of control. And just to show a little bit more, the next article, again, is something that he's doing that's overreaching. So anyway, let's, we're going to pray for all them people over there and hope that Donald Trump doesn't do the stupid thing and actually get us physically involved in this war. But that's all we can do at this point. You know what I'm saying? He's going to do what he's going to do, and then we're going to have to clean up the mess. So let's go ahead and jump into these last promos, and then we'll get into our last article. Did you know Blind United offers free training in assistive technology? We call them interest groups. We offer training in JAWS, NVDA, iPhone, iPad, as well as Meta Ray Bans. We also have groups like support group, cooking groups, and crafting groups. There are also groups for entertainment like movie night and RS game night. For more information about all the interest groups that we offer, just email us at info@blindunited.org, or visit our Facebook group, Blind United Interest Group. We would love to have you be part of the Blind United crew.
I know it sounds wrong. Yeah. Showstar star, it's 21st, and we're setting it off. Blind United's popping with that handmade sauce. Necklaces, bracelets, jewels that gleam, mosaics and pastries like a sweet dream. Made by the people, I love no cap. Supporting our artists, now that's a wrap. Step to the fair, yeah, roll through the door. Blind United's got what you're looking for. Crafts, good vibes, and a whole lot of heart. This ain't just shopping, this here is art. Step to the fair, yeah, roll through the door. Blind United's got what you're looking for. Cookies, candles, and that custom bling. Supporting small makers doing their thing. Real talk, every item's got a soul. So grab your folks and let's hit that go. From the blind to the bold, from the hands to the heat. Every booth got a story, every table a beat. Come early, come ready, show love, don't play. We're building a vibe that won't fade away. So tune and pull up, it's the coffee time way. Craft fair on the 21st, don't delay. We doing it live, Blind United on the rise. Come catch that spark and support with pride.
All right. Again, it's coming up, y'all. We only got a few days left. It'll be this Saturday. And again, I hope everybody has an opportunity to come out and check us out and hang out with us, support what we're doing. For those that maybe want to try a new mode of transportation, I'll let you know that you can jump on that Metrolink train, that San Bernardino line. And I say that because out here, Kel, all of our trains, whether it's the Metrolink or the Metro, they all come into Union Station.
Okay.
And then in Union Station, you can transfer to whatever connecting train you need. So whatever train you riding on in LA, you can make it into Union Station, and you can catch that San Bernardino line train, and you can roll out, get off, and I mean you can literally hear. I'm saying hear because we can't see, right?
Right.
When you step off that train, you're gonna be able to hear us. That's how close you'll be.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so again, it's right next to the Metrolink station right there. So for those that might want to try it out, a new mode of transportation, again, like I said, you can jump on that Metrolink, come on out, you know what I'm saying? Come hang out with us, and then when you get done, you can go back over to the Metrolink station and get back on the train and head back into Union. And it's free. It's free. As long as you got your access card, you can ride that train for free. So a lot of people don't realize that. You can ride all them trains for free. All the buses, all the trains, everything in LA with access, you get to ride for free. So that'll work. So anyway, I guess it was yesterday, wasn't it, that I did an article about how Trump policies is changing, the hiring practices and stuff?
Yes. About the federal?
Yeah. Check this out on what he is doing with the Veterans Administration.
Hey, Blind United crew, grab your last cup as coffee time delves into a truly concerning development for our veterans. A troubling shift. Can VA doctors now refuse care to unmarried veterans and Democrats? Recent reports have ignited a significant controversy surrounding new guidelines at the U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs, VA, suggesting that doctors may now be able to refuse treatment to unmarried veterans and those identified as Democrats. This is a profound shift from previous policies and, if accurate, raises serious questions about discrimination and the fundamental right to care for those who have served our nation. According to reports from outlets like The Guardian, these new rules stem from an executive order by President Donald Trump titled Defending Women from Gender Ideology Extremism and Restoring Biological Truth to the Federal Government. The core of the concern lies in the removal of specific protections from VA hospital bylaws. Previously, these bylaws explicitly stated that medical staff could not discriminate against patients based on national origin, politics, marital status, or disability in any employment or care matter. Under the updated guidelines, crucial terms like politics and marital status have reportedly been removed from this list. This change, say critics, could open the door for individual VA healthcare providers, including doctors, psychologists, and dentists, to decline care based on personal characteristics not explicitly prohibited by federal law. The implications of such a policy are far-reaching and deeply troubling. For unmarried veterans, this could mean facing barriers to care simply due to their marital status, regardless of their service or need. For veterans who identify as Democrats or who have any particular political affiliation, the idea that their political views could influence their access to health care is a stark departure from the principle of non-discrimination in medical settings. Experts and veteran advocacy groups are voicing strong condemnation, calling these changes extremely disturbing and unethical. There are warnings that doctors could potentially question patients about their political activities or affiliations, or even about their marital status, and then deny care on those grounds. The Department of Veterans Affairs, through its press secretary, Peter Kasprowicz, has issued a statement attempting to clarify the situation. While not directly denying that the specific language changes occurred or that individual healthcare workers could refuse to treat veterans based on beliefs not protected by federal law, Kasprowicz stated that all eligible veterans will always be welcome at VA and will always receive the benefits and services they've earned under the law. He described the rule changes as a formality to ensure VA policy comports with federal law, though he did not specify which federal laws necessitated these particular removals. This response, however, has done little to quell the outrage from many lawmakers and veteran advocates, who argue that the new guidelines undermine the sacred trust between the nation and its veterans. This situation also extends beyond patient care to employment within the VA. Documents reviewed by The Guardian reportedly indicate that medical staff can now be barred from working at VA hospitals based on their marital status, political party affiliation, or union activity. This further compounds the concerns about potential discrimination and politicization within one of the largest integrated hospital systems in the U.S., which serves approximately 9 million patients annually. This deeply concerning development paints a picture of a future where our devices are more integrated, more connected, and potentially more accessible than ever before. What are your thoughts on this? We'd love to hear them. Now back to the Coffee Time crew for their thoughts.
Well, first thing I want to say, I can't believe he's shitting all over our veterans this way. I'm sorry for my language, but I got to call it what it is. That's what he's doing. You know what I'm saying? And to clarify what the press secretary for the VA is saying, at the VA hospital, vets can get their care. If you are seeing a private doctor or somebody else that accepts the veterans medical, they can deny you service. But at the hospital, at a regular VA hospital, they cannot. So, and then you throw in the other piece in there about the employment. I mean, come on, man. You just want everybody to bow down and kiss your ring, huh? I mean, that's what it seems like. I mean, he just wants everybody to be loyal to him. You know what I'm saying? And what is that if that is not the true sign of a dictator? That's all that is. Now if he gets his way with this one, now he's controlling even the medical, But the most outrageous thing again to me, and I'm sorry to say it again, he is shitting all over our VA, our vets, with these policy changes. I mean, it's just no. I mean, I'm sorry. It's not right. It should not be allowed to happen. I mean, I'm sorry. My opinion is that once people put their life on the line and serve in our military, when they come home, they should essentially, this gold card he's talking about selling for citizenship for $5 million. I mean, I'm sorry. Them vets need to get a gold card. They should be able to get whatever type of veterans assistance they can get. Whatever's out there to help the vets, that gold card should give them access to whatever it is, whether it's medical, whether it's loans, whether it's, assistance and whatever. I don't care. These people put their life on the line for us. They went over there and fought, with the pretense of defending our Constitution and defending our way of life. And then you gonna bring them back home and shit all over them like this? You need your ass kicked. I'm sorry. Uh,
I mean,
let me shut up.
you're absolutely right, Ed. I mean, these individuals are serving, they're representing our country. And here it is, just based on craziness. I mean, what what is the purpose of this? It makes no sense other than, like you say, a dictator type of situation. It used to be color, or here it is. I mean, I can think about when COVID came out. They were dismissing individuals that didn't want to take the shot if they were working in the medical field or in the air industry, or if they corporations and things of that sort had the right to terminate you if you were lesbian, gay, transgender, if you were Catholic or Jehovah Witness or Seventh Day Adventist. I mean, it's stupid. And now it's the veterans. I mean, why does it matter if I'm a Democrat or a Republican? Why does it matter if I'm married or I'm not? If a person served the country, they should be able to get whatever it is that they want. You know, and to me, it makes no sense. I see a lot of lawsuits coming about. If this comes to fruition, I mean, I see a lot of lawsuits coming about to where these people are going to be sued. And he's already trying to pull money from the VA. Now you're doing this. What's next?
Well, again, I'm gonna put a shameless plug in there again. That's another reason to come show up at our crafting event. We have a resource there, which is free legal services, and they look for this kind of stuff. They love this kind of stuff. So if
Right.
you, you might need these people. I mean, with everything he's doing, I mean, now we're talking about the VA, we're talking about Medicaid. Out here, we call it Medi-Cal.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of these different things, again, they love that kind of stuff. That's what they're in business for, That's what they created this nonprofit for, is to help folks down on this end protect themselves from this tyrannical overreach. So anyway, go ahead, Pedro.
Sorry, I was on mute. Sorry about that. Well, my take on this again. Once again, this is my opinion. This is the steps the dictator takes. This is the steps when you take to set up a takeover. Okay, you set up so many different things like the VA, the hiring policies across different organizations. So you're not only going to see it there. You already saw the dismantling of the CFPB, that scam police is what is known for, returned over billions of dollars to the U.S. citizens from corporations that steal and did uh, uh, um, non-ethical business practices. Period. Just to let y'all know.
Mostly
Um,
the banks.
yep.
Mm-hmm.
The banks, any type of financial institution, like Cash App. Cash App was doing something crooked against their people that use their service. Well, people got their money back, and that was because the CFPB um people
It
started
was also
complaining.
them payday loans, same day loans, all of
Exactly.
the
Right.
same kind of
Right.
things. They
And
they
he
they
moved
put
on.
them they put regulations on them.
So he did away with that. So that is not there to go and handle these billionaire and corporations that are doing scam things, right? He tried to dismantle the Social Security, and he kind of did. He put it on on stress levels that we're gonna see bigger lines, more longer wait periods uh in line to see. a social security agent. He did that for privatization, private to privatize social security, to put strain on it because he wants it in a private sector. He's doing away with so many other agencies and changing different policies to suit his plan for the third year of his administration, because the third year is the last year and they have to have everything set for whatever there might be planning, if that is to stay in power or elect, not elect, but appoint somebody to his position, and most likely a family member, if I'm not mistaken. But if we get to back to the election and we do this correctly, we could get this person out of here. But damage has been done, and repairs is gonna take a long time, and we're gonna need the 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 both sides, left and the right, to repair this. But we already see that the right, it barely has a little backbone, barely has a spine. You know, he has so many yes men. Even Republicans that don't like him won't say nothing against this man, even though he throws a wrecking ball to our Constitution, violates our laws, uh, uh, undermines our court system, undermines our governing body and our branches of government. This person is setting up already the foundation for his takeover. Just to put it bluntly, and just to let y'all know, this is my opinion. And this man, they put him as an alpha male. Nonsense. He hasn't gone to a gym ever.
He's a
They
coward.
put him as a strong leader, but he negotiates against himself. That's why he got the nickname Taco. Number three, this man wants to show I am tough. I am alpha. I am a male. I am this. I am that. With parades that flop, with actions that undermine our national security, undermine our national friends, even around the world. Our friends, our allies. The only ally he seems to have that it is our allies is Israel and Russia. Because look, think about it. He went to the G7 not for peace, not to work on peace over there in Ukraine and Russia. What's happening over there? He went to cry for Putin. He went to whine for Putin. He went to be a snowflake. This is what the right has become. Snowflake and cancer culture. They want to cancel you. If they can't, if you're not saying what they want and hear, they want to cancel you and put lawsuits behind you. That's what they are. They've been snowflakes, in my opinion. And I don't know what you guys may think, Ed and Carol, but that's my take about it.
Well, I mean, again, he's just overreaching whatever authority that he thinks he has. Again, and it's all in, preparation for him to, you know, per se want to stay in office, right? Uh, I don't think it's going to happen. I really don't. But again, he's laying the groundwork for that. I mean,
Hmm.
all of these employment changes within all of our government
Our
agencies,
policies, yeah.
Right, right.
policies, all of the elimination of federal departments that actually protect the people, and
The
now you're
Inclusion
taking
Act.
away, now you're taking away medical coverage in essence, to our
To
veterans,
our
all this other
veterans.
kind of stuff.
Hmm.
I mean, look at all of it. I mean, we got judges, we got senators, we got mayors, and I don't know if you guys seen this, but most recently, the goddamn city controller for the state of New York was arrested the other day.
I know, and
Yeah.
that's the beginning stages right there.
When you start coming after our elected officials like that, right?
Right.
That's again, like Pedro was saying, they're trying to eliminate, cancel anybody that doesn't agree with what they're trying to do. I mean, let's go back to this thing with Alex Padilla, the senator, right?
Hmm.
He was sitting there quietly listening until she got the nerve to let the words come out of her mouth that they were there to, what did they say, to liberate the citizens of Los Angeles and California from the mayor and the governor. That's not your job, number one. But number two, that's the exact moment when Alex Padilla started speaking up. And he very clearly said, my name is Senator Alex Padilla, and I have questions for the secretary. And then they grappled him up, took him down to his knees, put him in handcuffs, and took him out of the room.
Crazy.
Yeah.
That's
and
crazy.
Guys, this ain't Russia. This ain't Saudi Arabia. Okay?
Right.
It ain't North Korea, it ain't China, it ain't none of those places where this stuff is not allowed. This is America, where we have, number
Freedom
one, our
of
elected
speech,
officials.
supposedly.
Well, number one, again, our elected officials have the right to be able to question other lawmakers. Number two, we all have that First Amendment right to say what we want to say.
And number three, that building is a federal building, but Alex Padilla, his office is there. His officers that guide him and take him in his daily appointments, the FBI, he asked them to escort him there. So the FBI, the whole team, whoever is doing the security for them, and it's government security, they're in touch with each other. They talk to each other, so they know. And this just is
not only
rhetoric.
that. He didn't come there for the press conference. He came there on a different type of briefing, and then found out that she was there, and he still had time before the briefing he was there to attend took place. So he says, oh, okay, well, how about I go over there and listen in to the press conference? And those people you're talking about, her people, his people, the building's people, federal folks, escorted him into the room where that press conference was being held. So again, for them to sit there, like for her to sit there and say, "Well, we had no idea who he was when he started approaching the stage."
Crazy.
We all knew exactly who this man was.
Yes.
Matter of fact, she testified in front of him.
Yeah, she knows who he is, because you want to know why? They all have, even when when Padilla wanted to go into the conference, there is security guidelines there. That team had to contact the other team and make contact and make sure and vet everything. Even though this is a government official, yes, he has to be vetted. For him to get let in the room, that means he was gave a green light that he's good.
Right.
So,
exactly.
But again, so they wrong. They just doing whatever they want to do,
This
and
is
they just
the beginning stages. This is the
I know.
beginning stages right there.
Yeah.
But the key is trying to get the rest of our people to understand that this is the beginning. Don't go to sleep. Pay attention. Do what you can. Reach out to your congressional reps. Reach out to your senators. Reach out to your state assembly members. All of your state officials. Reach out to your people. Let them know you're not going for this. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The more we speak up, then the more our elected leaders understand the pulse of their constituents.
Yes.
Right.
And then because they're our voice.
And then it's their choice whether they want to step back into Congress or whatever and represent what their people are asking them to represent, or whether they want to turn the coat and bow down to what he wants to do. But again, for most of us, I'm assuming that we're just Democrats or whatever. So our reps that we're bringing out to, especially here in California, the majority is Democrats, and so again, they're not gonna bow down to it like that.
If we have any persons that are Republicans or even MAGA, look, guys, only because you do support Donald Trump does not mean you cannot disagree with something he says. You can. I support presidents, and that doesn't mean I agree with everything they said. I have my partner. Sometimes we don't agree on certain views. We have friends. Sometimes we don't agree on certain views. You got to remember, no one man is perfect, and Donald Trump is not perfect. So you can disagree, with some of his policies. It's normal. It's okay. Even to
As
the
many of
leadership in the
his
Republican Party. It's okay, guys. It's
That's
as
right.
okay.
many of his followers are doing right now. There are a lot of them are changing. They man, I wish I never would have voted for him. So, but anyway, we are definitely over our time for the evening, or this afternoon, this morning, whatever you want to call it, depending on where you're listening to us from. So anyway, again, come on out, check us out tonight. We got 3 really exciting interest groups for you, starting at 2, then 5, and then 6. And as always, hey, you know what to do. Run over there, do it. Like, subscribe, share, follow, comment, all that good stuff. And we will see you on the next one. Have a great day.